Okay. Hello everyone. I don't know how I got reversed like that, but we can fix that. Let me see. Road flip horizontal. There we go. I'm the best cat dad ever. My name is Brian Brake. Welcome everybody. I had meant to get on yesterday, but subject to the requirements of the service, I think is how it was said in Master and Commander. I was about to hit start and got called away to an issue at work. So ended up having to work through some of that, but it hasn't come to a head. It's still hot garbage, but I'm working on it. It's working out. So had several meetings to talk about things going on there. So it's interesting, the priorities of some things and people and how you I don't want to say suffer that, but there comes a point, and I think that's where we get burnout for information security. It's like, I just don't care anymore what you do. I'm going to tell you what I think the best route and course is happening. If you don't want to take my advice, we have processes in place to allow you to continue to shoot yourself in the foot or lop off your arm or, sell your grandmother for, beans or some shit like that. So, yeah. So I don't know if I've hit a nirvana or whatever. I just don't give a shit anymore if they do the right thing or not. Maybe that's not the right way to go. Maybe that's the last the last signs of burnout in information security. But product teams, sometimes you just gotta let somebody burn their hand on the stove and let them try to unfuck that chicken. And that's one of the things I commented online about with the there was a hospital in Chicago that had been hit in the news by, what was it, ransomware or something. There it is, yeah. So there it is. So the Lurie Children's Hospital Chicago got a cyber attack, and everybody's clutching at pearls saying, oh, what kind of assholes would hit a children's hospital, the kind that found something wrong with the network and made it really, really easy to get in. And it makes me a shitbag. And I love Children's Hospital system. My daughter spent 10 days in a medically induced coma because of some issues in her throat when she was 10 weeks old, and love the Children's Hospital of San Diego here, and really, really would love to see this hospital go, well, shit, IT systems are important. Probably as important as a doctor, or probably as important as our patients. Maybe we should start protecting it similarly. I don't know. I don't know. So for those of you who didn't know, they're still trying to restore their computer systems after a cyber incident shut down the network. Email, phones, electronic systems. They're using paper probably again for the first time in a while. Accessing medical records and prescription history is difficult for patients and staff. I don't envy the IT folks, because I'm sure that they're overworked. I'm sure that they're understaffed. It's not a good customer experience. If I was a patient there right now, I would definitely suggest, that my child get the fuck out of this hospital and go to a hospital that it hasn't been ransomwared yet. It may take hours to get transport, but it's your child, right? So, I just don't know. There's really a part of me that's like, who doesn't get ransomwared? People who spend money on cybersecurity. And again, I don't know how much they spend on cybersecurity, and this is probably going to make me a shitbag, and people are making clips of this and whatever. it's the problem is, yeah, attacks on health infrastructure have become all too common. Every day there seems to be a black swan event for a hospital, and I don't see it getting better, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I feel like I know why. There's priorities, right? And I think I've talked about this. There's priorities. For the hospital, the priority is save lives, make sure the doctors are happy, make sure that bonuses are paid out, and then, everything else. There's too many hospitals, right? Hey, Utmost Anne. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I don't know why the notification is hot garbage, but thank you for coming and joining us today. So, we've seen, hospitals in East Texas, New Jersey, they mentioned Oklahoma, New Mexico. I don't understand. We're normalizing ransomware attacks on hospitals. There's just so many of them. HIPAA obviously is not going to help here. A compliance requirement's not going to help. And I think there's too many hospitals out there that don't have the budget or can't find the budget for IT now. And it's unfortunate because there's no good way of fixing this, but because they say, adding hospitals and cash-strapped facilities. I've been to some of those hospitals and cash-strapped facilities. It sucks, and there needs to. I don't know. We had for the Navy, we had a universal IT thing, and I think that's where they tried to go with the EMR stuff, and what did they say here? Recognizing status quo of hacks regularly disrupting healthcare is untenable, and that federal officials and hospital executives need to do much more to combat the problem. The DHS, or Department of Health and Human Services, unveiled plans to ramp up federal funding for ill-protected rural hospitals and impose stricter fines for lax security at healthcare providers in December. Yeah, because a cash-strapped facility needs some stricter fines. Great. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I was thinking about this on my walk the other day. I was like, do they need access to anything other than, it seems like basic IT. It seems like basic IT. You control your ingress and egress. If it's a phish that happened, maybe you don't allow phishing from outside the company. Maybe you don't allow external phishes. Maybe you don't allow external email to be sent. Maybe you don't allow external emails to come in. Nurses don't need to be checking, their email on, hospital computers. Maybe everything that, you're doing on those computers only works with the hospital or within the hospital system. They have phones. Maybe they're not supposed to use their phones. It would suck. I know Seattle Children's got hit similarly. It's just, I don't get it. It's really just kind of painful that we're getting this. And I think I made a promise not to put these kinds of news articles on here, but yeah, it's just hard to not want warheads on foreheads for people attacking these hospitals, but they're opportunistic, right? Maybe they don't even know what they're attacking. They see a big bunch of IP addresses, they throw a simple nmap and they go, oh, look, somebody's using Telnet. Okay, yeah, let me just, send, this 8-year-old security vulnerability to, this Telnet port, and I've got root on the system, and now I'm gonna, start doing all this evil shit. Oh, look, there's some medical stuff in here. All right, fuck it, encrypt, and then it's like, I just don't understand. So, yeah. Other than that, it's Wednesday, right? And today's leg day, so my ass is starting to get that hurting feeling. You lost that hurting feeling. Yeah. Got some good news, though. Got some good news this week. I finally submitted the sponsor pack to B-Side San Diego. So I actually contacted one of the organizers, and I said, hey, can I use the icons from B-Sides San Diego on the stream to say, hey, we're a proud sponsor. And I got to hold off on that, but I have paid the fee. I have filled out the form. So for all intents and purposes, they've accepted my money. So for all intents and purposes, BreakSec Education stream and podcast is a sponsor of B-Side San Diego. So that's cool. So we'll have, I get a couple tickets, but I'm going to be volunteering anyway. I'm going to be gooning for them, as far as I know. So, we'll be able to give away a couple tickets to people who might need them, if they want to go that route. And we already have the keynote speaker set up to interview the week before B-Side San Diego, which is great. Got Kevin Johnson on, planned for the 24th of March. So we'll have him back on again to talk about, being in Global OWASP, being a member at large there, and, keynoting and just some AppSec stuff that he's been in the industry a long time. So we're gonna ask him about his experiences and what are the maybe we can get a sneak peek of what the keynote's going to be there. So actually done a pretty good job of getting interviews set up. I think we've already had 2 this year with Accidental CISO and Ms. Bat, and I'm starting to have the same problem when I interview people. I'm thinking, oh, we should have talked about that, or oh, we should have talked about that. One of the things I think we forgot to talk about was, we talked about controlling the interview, right? You taking a beat before you answer a question, or you might write it down. Ms. Bat said writing it down to go, and one of the things asking was, well, what I think you're asking here is asking clarification questions and controlling that narrative, because there's very little you control in the hiring process. One of the things you can somewhat control is the speed of the interview, or maybe you can steer the conversation to certain things that you are knowledgeable about, with the idea that maybe you can somewhat derail the conversation away from what they're wanting to talk about, or being able to collect your thoughts before you answer your question. So one of the last things you ever see in an interview is anybody asking you, hey, do you have any questions? You should always have at least one question or 2 questions, depending on how much time is left. 1 to 2 questions about the job, about the company, about the culture. Pick something from the job description that you want to ask a question about. Or, if you've got your notepad of paper here, when you've been taking notes for the questions that are being asked, oh yeah, let me ask about that later. I wouldn't necessarily ask about compensation, because sometimes, unless you're talking to the hiring manager themselves, those people don't have any real bearing on things like your salary or what benefit. You may ask them about the benefits that they have. Hey, have you taken advantage of the training budget? It says that training is available. Have you, did you get to go to conferences? What's the leeway like for going to conferences? Do they let you go to Vegas for Black Hat and DEF CON, or, have you gone to any of the local B-sides or anything like that? It's probably pretty safe to ask questions like that, but it's like, how much money are you making? It's still somewhat of a stigma in the business world. Probably something you can ask afterwards once you get hired there, but always ask questions. I have interviewed several people, and when I say, hey, do you have any questions for me? And there's, 5 to 10 minutes left, because that's, as an interviewer, I'm like, okay, I have to leave you time, because I'm hoping you'll ask me questions about, what's going on. Or, if we haven't done a little tete-a-tete back and forth kind of asking questions thing, to leave you time, because you probably want to find out about that. I have had several people go, no, I'm good. You don't have any questions at all? None? Zero? Nope, we're good. That I don't want to say that makes me feel like you don't have any interest in the job. It's just that I don't know. It just feels like that there should be some questions there. We've talked about the job for an hour, assuming you don't have any other, assuming that you haven't asked any questions, and it's been just, typical where I've had to ask you questions back and forth. There should be a dialogue there, but it doesn't hurt to have a question, even if it's, something like, something that, I don't want to say completely out of left field, but it's always good to have something to end the discussion on. Age of music. I'm exhausted. I've been doing things. I've been crushing interviews and ticking boxes. Still no job. I'm sorry about that, Age. I posted a couple of jobs in our job board. Now they're the couple that I found, actually, I was looking at, they were junior positions, which surprisingly were junior positions. Let me see. Oh, this is, y'all can't see that. Let me back it up here. So, so, oh, cool. So here's yet another junior position from Staples, of all places. It's a junior SOC, it's an enterprise SOC position. It is an on-site work model, so you would have to move to Framingham, Massachusetts. So, get ready to enjoy the Patriots, or the local sport team. The interesting thing that I find is this is, I would say, yet another legitimate junior SOC position. Sadly, if you don't live in Massachusetts, you'd have to move there. So discussion about things like relocation would have to go on if you don't live in the Upper Eastern Seaboard and don't mind living there. Parfahamadam Driffim, Flavin, lady. Oh, for a lady. Freud Laven. Yeah, don't worry about this bullshit. Let's see, where's Framingham, Mass. Okay, so in Massachusetts, oh yeah, it's right outside of Boston. Right outside. Well, I say right outside of Boston, but I mean the whole state you can drive across in like 2 hours. So, I mean, if you go from Provincetown to upper northeaster London, New York, or what have you. Yeah, that would be a hell of a commute, Age. It's on the other side of the 90. So just you go from one end of the 90 to the other. I lived on the I-90. So, and I've actually driven on the 90 in Boston. It went through the Big Dig and all that area. But yeah, it's on the other side of the 90. It's kind of funny. I've lived on both sides, or I've seen both sides of the 90 and the 5, which was kind of funny. But yeah, Framingham is that whole area is just populated, so you really couldn't tell the difference between it and Boston at that point. But this was interesting. So one basic qualifications: a year of minimum work experience. They don't specify what kind of work experience. So cool, right? And then what is needed, preferred qualifications, is a degree, related experience in security ops or similar roles. Didn't know what this was. Everbridge or Genetech. I don't know. Those might be ticketing systems or some kind of help desk system. I don't know. Experience with advanced security systems and threat intelligence tools. Okay, experience. It doesn't mean like, vast knowledge thereof. Demonstrated ability to handle complex security incidents and investigations. That's assuming, so basic qualifications. I mean, I put this up on the post. I said here, legitimate, assuming they truly hold to what is needed, 1 year of non-specific work experience. And then, what they want, some of which are oddly specific, might be an OPSEC issue for the company. Another junior position for new start, somebody looking to get in. It's a mobile alert service. Oh, okay. Yeah, Everbridge, huh? Yeah, probably, yeah, like PagerDuty or whatever. Everbridge. Digitalize organizational resilience at scale. Bingo. Nope, that's all I need to know. Digitizes organizational resilience at scale. Provides information about critical events to help personal safety and business continuity, formerly known as 3N Networks and National Notification Network. Okay. Oh, they're based out of Burlington, Massachusetts, which is, I believe, right down the street from, where's Burlington, Mass? Well, anyway, it's close to that area too. So yeah. It's a lovely part of the country. I mean, I loved going to Providence. This whole area. You got the Narragansett Bay and all that. You wanted to live in. There's worse places to live. I don't know what they are right now, but But this is one of those examples of not an awful job description. To be fair, we have seen numerous that have been just complete shite, and but yeah. So the only thing I would say is, do they really is this optional? Is this area optional? If I came in and I said, hey, I don't have a degree, can I get that? So yeah, I mean that's pretty sweet. Let's see what other jobs do they have. This is Staples, so it's like Office Max, Office Depot, Office Company, which is interesting because I wouldn't have thought of that. Oh, they have a sled developer in Sacramento, software engineer. Ooh, Java Spring Boot. Okay. Stockton, California. Okay. Interesting. I'm sure they have more. If you want to go look that up, y'all can go check that one out. I strongly considered giving up and moving to Manizales. I don't know where that is. Manizales. Oh, Columbia. Oh. It could be worse. And a lot of cathedrals there. Yeah. That's okay. All right. So that's, okay. I've not been to Colombia, but closest I've been, I think, was Ecuador. I think we visited Ecuador once. Then when we did our South American cruise. Was it Ecuador? No. Am I an ignorant American? Was it? No, it was Lima. It had to have been Lima. Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah, Lima. It had to have been Peru. Yeah. My bad. Completely different. My bad. I'm ignorant. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Colombia. There was Bogota had a really nice security conference down there. It was ran by a friend of mine. For as far as I know, it's still going on. So yeah. And then you get people like, who was it? Let's see. Where was it? Somebody had mentioned. Yeah, if I find it, I'll let you know. But so yeah, that was one that I saw today. I was like, wow, okay, so this doesn't suck. But yeah, for every 2 jobs that I've seen that are good, there's at least 10 more. And there was a post that I'd seen on my timeline inside LinkedIn about somebody saying, suck it up. It's the way we've hired has changed and the pendulum has swung. And I'm like, in which direction, and hitting who, and causing hate for a lot of folks. And so let me see, where is that? Did I actually post that? Let me go see if I can view my profile, because I wanted to get super ugly on that, posting up that CSO online thing about 4 million lines of people, looking for jobs and what have you. But yeah, Yeah, the question thing, we forgot about talking about that. It's like, make sure you do ask questions. Make sure that I don't want to say it shows interest in the company or shows interest in the job, because if you've gone an hour talking to somebody, and maybe at most jobs you've gone multiple hours of job, interviews all day, and your head's burnt out, right? When I interviewed at my current position, it was three interviews a day for 2 days. So it was like I had to talk to 6 different people, not including the hiring manager, and yeah, it was draining emotionally and mentally. It's like one of those things where you want to tell your boss you've got food poisoning while you're looking for another job. If you're, you don't want to be trying to interview all day and still try to do 8 hours of work at your current job. So you might have to pull a sick day or something like that. Age, what kind of questions have they asked you with regards to interviews? Any red flags where it's like, oh yeah, I should have. You ever, when you go back and think about things, is there things like, oh, I could have done that, or oh God. Well, age, that's not good. Sorry that yeah. Trying to interview and have food poisoning at the same time. You're freaking rock star. Trying to get through that is an arduous process. I interviewed online, and that was bad enough. Not to mention I had to use technology I wasn't used to with regards to interviewing, so that was interesting. But yeah, there's the stress and pressure of that. It was like one after another, boom, 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 boom. So I had to go into my office this week. I had to set some boundaries. The stuff I've been dealing with at work, it was like, I don't want to turn my computer on while I have to go into the office. So when I'm, the days that I have to go into the office, I'm not in my office, which technically is right here where I normally work. It's a ride. Look, I've had some good interviews. There always seems to be a point toward the end that the whole tone shifts. Huh. Well, all right, let's talk through that, Age. I'm not sure if I'm standing up at the table or when. Well, the good thing is you recognize that the tone shifts, or the something changed, right? You said by the end of the interview, the whole tone shifts. You can't put your finger on it. So, do you have any more interviews coming up? Because one of the things I would say is maybe do like Ms. Bat suggested. Write down the questions. Maybe is it always the same place in the interviews? Is it like near the end where maybe there's does it feel like maybe sometimes, oh, I've said I don't know to several things? I'm just spitballing here on these things, but sometimes I have noticed that when I interview, near the end. So when you say near the end, is it because they're I don't know what kind of questions they're asking you. Maybe you could give me some ideas to what kind of questions they're asking you. Because I'm genuinely interested, because as somebody who doesn't pick up on signals very well, the fact that you're picking up on something when you're interview, it might be helpful to call that out. It's like, hey, I've noticed there's a shift in your tone or something like that. Is there something that you are, questioning, or is there something that would put your mind at ease? Is there a question you'd like me to answer or something else like that? Last 10 minutes on the last interview. So everything was all nice and happy and friendly, and then it was like, you've tried calling it? Okay. Did the interviewer get pessimistic in some way, or was it like all happy smiles and everything? And then, I don't know. I've often wondered if I said something that, wasn't the answer they were looking for. So like, oh, okay, this is yet another of the same person I've seen 3 times today, and I didn't like them either. All happy smiles, and it's like I've heard it. Oh my God. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Is there a certain demographic that you're interviewing with all the time? Is it always white dudes? Is it a mixed bag? Is there some diversity in there? Are you interviewing with people who you're going to be working directly with, and then maybe a couple people outside of that organization? I'm just trying to get an understanding of the types of interviews here, because there's some diversity. Oh, that's good. That's good. Have you noticed the interviews where stream mod. Adapt your behavior for the audience. If I'm in an interview with people I'm going to work day to day with, I'll try to relax and talk to them as if I were already working there. If I talk to the CO or CISO, it's a bit more client facing and professional. Yeah, when I say, when I interview, it's been almost going on, well, shit, wait. Yeah, 8 days from now will be 3 years at my current place. Oh my God. Wow. I do tend to talk in the, let's get started, when I got, yes, I would, we would go back and we would do these things. I would work and act. My responses would be as though we were working there. It would be like, fairly, this is what we would do. And we'd go back there and I'd have to ask some questions. Agent CISO at the last interview dropped a couple F-bombs at my last one. I have no problem with that. Now, if you have a problem with that, then that might be something, feedback you would give after the interview. Obviously, the correct answer would be, yeah, you would raise it during the interview. But if you're looking for a job, you don't want to do anything to rock that particular boat at that point. But unless you were completely deeply offended, and then that maybe that's not a good fit. Felt like I was being baited into "Are you are cool?" Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I hope you also did not drop F-bombs. In that case, yeah, I think until you've gotten some time in there and generated some trust. Right answer, yes, Agent Music. You didn't swear. Yeah, it's kind of like I've had a lunch meeting with my boss, and my boss would get a beer or something, and I was like, "Do I get a beer?" No, I'm not going to get a beer. And it's one of those things. It's like, it's if he does it because he's the boss, he can do that. It's like I still, I haven't done that before, but yeah, I've never had liquid lunches with people I work with. I've had liquid lunches with people I don't work with. Completely fine. But yeah, that's good. So Age, was the CISO one of those people that, the same thing happened where it felt like you farted in the elevator? Stream mod. Interesting. It was a CISO, the president, and their former SOC manager. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would say, the last 10 minutes of the interview. Usually by that time, I would say keep track of the questions. And then if you notice the tone shift, it's like, okay, what was the last question they asked? Was it about something in particular? Like, was this the time where they were like, hey, do you have any questions for me? And it's like, you're asking, okay, thank you. Hold on, y'all. I gotta ban someone. Twink. Block. All right. Report. Spam. Chat messages. There we go. Spam. Doink. There we go. Spam. Spam, spam, eggs and spam. Spam, spam, eggs and spam. Spammy messages. Drink. There we go. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Yep. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry it was bothering you. Promotion, yes. I'll make sure to hit stream rise as well for block stream rise as well. There we go. No. There's no lesson age of music. I got nothing today. So actually this lesson is perfectly cromulent to what we're having issues with in infosec as a whole. If this makes you uncomfortable, we can stop talking about it. But I'm just interested because, to be honest, DocuSign just had a couple thousand people just laid off as well, and it's like, how are those people going to find jobs, right? And cromulent. It's like, what is hiring going to look like for those folks? Some of them are probably developers and they'll get picked up on something else, or they made a couple $100 million and their stock options are vested and they're going to go do their little startup thingy and whatever. Not everybody has the, hey, I've got a couple 100,000 in RSUs that have been vested and I'm going to go, spend these and make a startup and whatever. Got to put food on the table, got to make rent, and helping others to understand the interview process and what you've had to go through is very good for everyone to go through. I am willing to continue going down this rabbit hole with you if you'd like. Or we can just talk about it on this tier 1 SOC analyst. Okay. I'm sure it's because they can pick, tier 1 SOC analyst is one of those junior type positions that I'd be like, for the Staples thing, I don't know. You can teach hard skills like that to people. Does the company actually want to take the time to do that? That's the other thing. It's like these junior SOC analyst jobs are good that they're being advertised. And they, some of them do suggest, we'll train you on the job and whatever. But then it's like, do they really have the time to do that? Because time is money, right? And if your senior people are training your junior people, that's 2 assets that are now doing non-billable work for all intents and purposes. It's why you don't tend to see a lot of junior positions at consultancies, especially if you have to train them up, because your senior people, $350 an hour, right? To a customer. The $350 for them 3 hours that they're having to train the junior person on how to run burp, that's $1,000 that they're not making somewhere else. Stream mod. I've only been working as a tester in consultancies in the UK, but there's so much competition that team fit is a big part of it. Right. Culture is important. You have to, be that way. Yeah. One of my questions was the roadmap to becoming net positive. Net positive? You'll forgive me. I'm a manager, so net positive in terms of like money, like making a profit. We may live in different industries, so I'm not exactly sure what a net positive is. So you work in the UK with a consultancy. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, how long will it take you to get trained up to be a useful member of the team? So that makes sense. If the company's too corporate, I nope out of there. Oh, and that's fair, and that works with some folks. They weren't concerned with it. Oh, that's good, Age of Music. The other thing I would say is, and I don't want to say you've misread this, but maybe that's the way they operate, where it's like, now, they're done at 50 after the hour and they're like, okay, I just want to get out of here. Maybe it's in reverse where, it's like, okay, I'm done talking with this guy and I've got 10 more minutes. It's like, okay, okay, what am I going to ask him now? There's so many things I don't, it, I, I want to put a positive spin on it and say maybe they've got all the information they need to make a decision on whether or not to hire you. And it's like, okay, I need to get out of here. My ass is sweating and whatever. Yeah. So, the other thing that Ms. Bat had suggested was a thank you note. If you haven't sent those yet, please send a thank you note to the recruiter or whoever, thanking them for that. Good. Never hurts. A little kindness never hurts. Hopefully you won't get ghosted. Fruit basket. Yeah. The other thing I like to do with the recruiters, I like to ask for a timeline. Hey, what's one of the questions I like to ask for interviews is like next steps. It's like, okay, yeah, hey, thanks, lead developer. What's y'all's thought process next? What's the hiring process for y'all? And they usually go through and they go, well, I'm gonna sit down with the other people that you interviewed with, and we're gonna commiserate, and we're gonna talk about these things, and then we'll come back with an answer in the next few days. That's one of my go-to questions. What's the next steps, right? What's going to happen in the next 48 to 72 hours with regard to that. They would get back to me by last Friday. Oh, I see. Yeah. So, that's good. They said they'd get back to you by Friday. That's better than a ghost, right? So, which, yes, definitely follow up. If they don't hit you back by Friday, I would say Friday about midday, say, hit the recruiter. And, oh, okay, there you go. Well, it sounds fairly positive. I think, if you haven't heard anything back saying, insta can, like, oh yeah, you're not a good fit, they probably would have sent you something automatically. So the fact that they're going to deliberate until Friday either means they've got more people to interview. They actually are considering you for the job, which, yay. And it's just going to take a couple days to weed out the remainder of folks. So big thumb, big cross your fingers and hope that works out. And don't give up. Yeah. This is one of 100 interviews I've gotten to the finish line on. For whatever reason, it falls short. Dog turds? If you're not working for them, dog turds would be fine, I guess. I don't know. If mailing a dog turd, would that be a suspicious package? Yeah. Where do you get a dog turd from? Wait, why am I asking these questions like I'm planning this? Anyway, it's like, I'm planning for dog turd. Okay, yeah, I've got to find a dog turd. There's a dog park 3 miles from here. Okay, yeah, I can, excuse me, sir, can I have your dog poop? That kind of thing. Oh gods, yes, not a Toblerone, that's for damn sure. Yeah, you're not the first person though, Age, that has said they've interviewed or they've sent in their job description or their CV to like 100 different jobs and gotten mostly bupkis, right? Mostly insta deny or insta canned, and I don't. We were training AIs to do things, and my worry and concern is that we're over relying on AIs to tell people whether or not they're a good fit or not. And I think some of what we're going to find out from folks like Ms. Bat, and I actually need to reach out to this recruiter that we've got on. Insta deny was a special character in my resume. Yeah. I'm gonna give you another leg up. That's me, by the way. You can follow me on there if you want. Let me shrink this up a little bit. Where is? He was where is it? Let me see. Forget what's his name. Stuart. I think it's Stuart Mitchell. There he is. So he's the founder of Hampton North. He's a cybersecurity recruitment agency. I did reach out to him to connect to him because I wanted him on the show, and we're going to get him on the show. He's like, yeah, hell yeah, let's make this happen, whatever. And he has several positions available. Premium US-based cybersecurity search firm. Ugh. So I don't know if it'll help, but he did advertise several jobs. He ran an AI scan on it, and a bullet point was getting filtered. Which bullet point was getting filtered, Asian Music? Did the AI scan, like, when you say it was getting filtered, that means it was being overlooked? Like, it wasn't formatted properly? That's an interesting thought. If recruiters are actually using AI to scan and saying, okay, this one's garbage, this one's good, this one's garbage. What I'd love is for AI to go, okay, of all the jobs in the recruitment center, this one would be a good fit for this. This would be a good fit for that, or what have you. So looks like you can do a search on jobs. Here we go. There's a job search. Senior security engineer, permanent full-time, tech support engineer in the UK. No, it was just the character. It was throwing out the resume for formatting agent. That's interesting. That is interesting. I've never actually thought about that. What if the resumes are causing an error in the intake process? So like they use fucking Taleo or some bullshit like that. Oh God, I hate Taleo. I hate Taleo with the fury of 1,000 suns. Or Workday or some shit like that, and there's a character or maybe the bullet point is something that isn't allowed to be read into the system because it's a sanitized input. You know, it's one of the things that it doesn't allow, and it's kicking those resumes out. That's interesting. Never thought of that. You know, because you've got Word docs and all the time. They have these little fancy ass, bullets and stuff in there. Huh. Yeah. I've never actually done the sanitizing scan. Yeah. And that would be why you'd get insta denied if you've uploaded your resume to a job and it got kicked out because AI couldn't read it, or Workday or somebody else is like filtering out things that shouldn't be allowed in there. You could be insta denied because your resume isn't formatted properly. One reason I hate Taleo, but I kind of like Taleo because Taleo is an HR system used by a bunch of shitty companies like Oracle and those. And it's actually made by Oracle. Weird. So yeah, configurable hiring. They take you through all this stuff and they make you upload your resume, and your resume has to be formatted in a certain way, and then it's like it tries to parse your resume and fill in the gaps in there. And you end up having to rewrite your whole fucking resume anyway. Or you can upload a text-only version of your resume so that it can read it and parse it. And I'd actually gotten to the point where I was suggesting people have a text-only version with no formatting whatsoever, like open it in WordPad or VS Code or whatever. No fancy spacing, no tabs, just all your words in there and stuff like that. But yeah, age, that's a good point. I didn't think about that one. Yeah, I hate Taleo. I've actually not applied to jobs because Taleo was one of the systems that they used. And I was like, well, if they use Taleo, how nice of a company can it be? Same thing with like Workday and those. I know, but to be fair, I wouldn't be working where I am now if I had gotten a job at one of those places I decided to apply to. But oh yeah, this is the NFL job. I don't know why I keep putting that one up. I was gonna send that to that guy as an example of a hot garbage job. But yeah, that's interesting. Yes. The other thing I feel is screwing me is my New Mexico phone number. I got it specifically because I don't know anybody in New Mexico, so it helps me filter spam calls. Yeah, there's some companies like that. When I was in San Diego the first time in 2009 and I was looking for jobs in Austin because I knew we were going to move there in a couple of months, I actually got my Google Voice number as a 512 number because I would apply for jobs in Austin. And I would tell them, hey, I'm going to be moving there in about a month. I was, wanted to interview, see what things are like. And they're like, oh, well, I noticed you have a 619 number, and are you in Austin right now? And that was in 2009. So it was like, oh, it's unheard of to not have a 512 number, which is the area code. And so I still got the same kind of delivery from the 512 number from Austin, but yeah, it's not so much an issue anymore. But yeah, the area code, yeah, I don't think so. You could, it really depends on if you're looking for jobs in the Washington area. If you're looking for a remote job, it doesn't matter really the number. If you're looking for something where you're actually going to sit your ass in an office and what have you, I don't know, maybe get a Google Voice number from whatever address, number you're in, the area you're in, like a 425 number if it's Washington, the Seattle area, or 619-858-760 if you're in the San Diego area. It doesn't cost anything to get a Google Voice number. They will ask you once in a while to start sending text messages from it, but you can use it to make phone calls. So it'll look like you come from a Washington or San Diego or Massachusetts if you're from Framingham site. So yeah, but yeah, I did get asked that. They're like, oh, why don't you have a 512 number? And I was like, because I don't see a need to change it. There's no such thing as long distance anymore. So, but yeah. That's a good thought. Wow, age. Good thinking about the kicking the resumes out. I'm gonna ask a friend of mine. He has had less he's had a lot of not good luck with have you ran your resume through a filter to see if something like your bullets or formatting is causing your CV to be kicked out. Here we go. I'm going to be an SME on this before too long. Hey, you know what? There's worse SMEs to be than a hiring professional. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe you could be a recruiter. There you go. I'm sure they're hiring recruiters. The sad thing about recruiters is I think you have to bring your own network with you. So, yeah. But yeah. Wish I could find that link. Yeah, I'm really interested in hearing what Stuart has to say about the industry specifically. So, yeah, I would like to find out the one thing I don't like about LinkedIn is your timeline. You can't go like scroll down and find the posts that you were looking at an hour ago unless you bookmark them or something. He had a list of jobs that he was actually looking for. Small list of active recruiters in my network, third parties. I was looking to see if I could put oh wait, did I post those up to the job board? Let me see. Interesting. I saw this on LinkedIn the other day. This is a website called stillhiring.today. And it's a website with organizations that are currently hiring people. Sites like Datadog, 1Password, ClickUp. Some of these I've never heard of before. So, San Diego, look at that. They do also, this huge table also has things like, are they remote hiring? So a lot of them are yes, except for no, which would be something called Notion. I think that's a word processor, like a markdown editor kind of thing. They're in San Francisco. It's one of those things. But a lot of them are still remotely hiring or not sure. So there's a bunch of them for every, no, they're probably in San Francisco. So, oh, no, here's Atlanta, Georgia. But they have some no, yes, yeses. I don't know what that means. Some jobs are probably remote, some are not. I'm not the man. I spend a lot of time looking at shit on the internet. So, but yeah, there's there's 120 different companies here. So, I play one of yes, I stayed at Howard Johnson's last week. So yes. Yeah, some of these companies I've never heard of, and they say they have jobs available, so it really depends on the job. A lot of these jobs are like software engineering. There's some security engineering. You might be able to filter based on certain job types. Let's see. Sort first to last, filter by this field. You say security, hiring security engineering. There we go. So here's a number of companies that are looking for security engineering. Get the there. Come on now. There we go. And again, I don't know how old these jobs are that they're hiring in here, but Datadog is always, I guess, hiring security engineers. Let's go look at some of those. Oh, fuck, shit. Oh, yeah, you could go work as a developer advocate in Paris, France. That'd be horrendous. I hate Paris. It's just, ugh. And they got the Olympics and, No, I love Paris. Oh, IT manager. There you go. Dev engineering manager, library software engineer. Wow, Jesus, they got a lot of stuff. Distributed systems, front ends. And then you can, obviously just search for security on the list here. Manager IT security, cloud security platform. Some of these are most, like they say, senior engineers. So, yeah, Datadog is looking for a lot of folks. Security here, business continuity and disaster recovery analyst. So that's an analyst position. Hopefully that would be somewhat junior. Yeah, Je m'appelle Meatloaf. Je m'appelle. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, je m'appelle Uve. I love that word. Eggs is Uve, I think. Now, of course, you have to look at the job descriptions for what is an analyst. They're looking for New York, it says USA, so I'm assuming that means like remote. Boston, Mass, Denver. Oh, no, Boston, Denver, Colorado, USA. Boston, Mass, USA, New York, New York. Okay, so the analyst is going to own and lead BR and BC and DR assessments. You need a BS or equivalent experience. See, I like the equivalent experience. Minimum of 5 years in industry. Yeah, so this is for more of a mid-level, I would say, not a junior person. So successfully served as lead. Oh my God. Why you should apply. Yeah, no. I okay, whatever. Professional development, product training, career pathing, nice. Intradepartmental mentors and buddy program. Inclusive company culture, that's nice. So Datadog's giving out pay ranges, which is nice, 102 to 130 plus competitive equity package. So yeah, they're giving you RSUs probably as part of your bonus structure. So like I made 200,000+ a year last year in my current job, not base pay. So like additional RSUs. So the golden handcuffs come out, but they vest after a certain amount of time. I hit him with a rather flawless "Oh non, je ne parle pas français." Oh, okay. I was on my way to Cairo, and the French customs guy in Paris asked me something in French. Oh. Yeah, I did probably a year's worth of Duolingo in French, and I can recognize the words. I can't say them, so I can recognize some of the cognates. I can recognize some of the words there. Yeah. Oh no, I can't speak French. That's what it. Yeah. But yeah, so Datadog, I haven't heard bad things about Datadog. That's just one of the hundreds of jobs that are hiring security people. Of course, some of them mostly, senior level stuff here, but, Canva. Okay, I use Canva. So if you go work at Canva, you can give me that sweet employee discount. Calendly, I'm starting to try to use Calendly. So again, sweet employee discount would be great. That would be sweet. Asana. Asana. Databricks, yeah, Asana. They're hiring for security engineering, but they're not remote hiring. Oh, they're in San Francisco. That's why. I have a problem with places in San Francisco not doing remote hiring. It almost feels like they want to have a non-diverse environment by forcing people who live in San Francisco to be in San Francisco. You would think it would be more of a diverse environment, but they want the groupthink that comes from living in San Francisco. It's just one of my not extreme somewhat takes on that. But if you're trying to build a diverse work environment, are you getting that by not including people outside of the Bay Area? It's not a bubble. It's not an impenetrable bubble. So. But anyway, so there's, hundreds of companies that are supposedly looking for security talent and people. Not saying it's junior, I'm not saying it's senior. They have security engineering in their titles, and I don't know how old the jobs are. And it's all good, Asian Music. I appreciate you. But yeah, I found this online. I don't remember exactly where. I want to say LinkedIn or something, but whatever we can do to give ourselves a leg up is going to be more than helpful. But yeah, there's at least 150 companies on that list that are hiring for security people, not necessarily just product people or what have you. And yeah, so hiring sales enablement. Okay, so they have specific CS roles as well. So yeah, yeah, and not all of them are in California, Massachusetts, Texas. A lot of Austin stuff, I'd imagine. Dallas, Austin. Ames, Iowa. Interesting. And I know, things like job hunting is made even more difficult because if you have certain requirements, like you can't live in that state because of, who you are. Some people, some of the legislation in those states or countries are not friendly to you or your family. That makes the job hunting even more difficult if you can't get a remote job with that organization or whatever. So, we need all the help we can get. So I'm glad I was able to share that with y'all. And yeah. Anywho, I had an article. One of the hazards of having multiple computers is, let me find out what the link is to that. I sometimes use my Surface for things as well. So here we go. Let's see, what does it say? Most cloud formations, HelpNet security. Okay, HelpNet security. HelpNet security.com, and it was a story. I found it kind of interesting. Cloud transformations. Stuck in the middle. There it is. All right. So this is funny. This is I don't want to say typical of major projects, but I was reading this article. This is from December of last year, and they said the findings from this consulting survey that came out. They said 60% of enterprises, only 1 in 4, can demonstrate a hard return on investment of their initiatives for cloud transformations, moving in and out of the country. Hey, Digital Warhead. Yeah, no, yesterday was hot garbage for me at work, so I was like, I gotta, hold off, and I wanna stream with y'all on a day that doesn't suck. And I had some issues at work that I had to track down. So, And then we got to talking with Age of Music here. Oh no, it's all good. It's better now. So I found this cloud transformation increasingly funded by non-IT stakeholders, which kind of makes sense, right? IT shouldn't be bearing the brunt of initiatives by product teams or development teams that want to use a specific stack. Oh, cool. How is that going, by the way, D-Dubs? I actually saw. I'm still getting emails. Apparently, I'm still one of the co-organizers of that. I'm still seeing people who want to join CSEC East, which is always great to see. I'm hoping you're filling seats in BLR. I remember having standing room only in one of the last couple times where we had Daddy Coco Man in there talking about Python and stuff. So, yeah, Black Lodge Research tonight, CSEC East is 6:30 p.m. In Black Lodge. So, Black Lodge Research. Yeah, there you go. So they're still in their lab in that's not a good website. Well, it is their website, but it's not the best place to find it. Let's see, Black Lodge Research. There it is. They're 17725 Northeast 65th Street in Redmond. So they're right off the 202 in Redmond. So you can see where I've been. I've been in Seattle a little bit over the past 10 years. You can see where I've put stars for businesses and places that I visited. But Black Lodge is one of those ones. It's depending on how the weather is right now, the traffic is going to be shit to get there. So, if you're coming from the east, take the 202. The 520 is usually okay going. Coming back is, I'm going to... don't take the 202. Oh, yeah, if you're coming down the 520, don't take the 202 exit. This always backs up really badly. So little local knowledge there. If you try to take the 202 exit, it's usually backed up onto the 520. So go past that and try to get down here through Panera and come back down this way. So sorry. If you're not in the Seattle area, you don't give a shit. I'm sorry. Anyway. What's the Star Incarnation? I think that's the camping joint. Let me see. The Carnation. Oh yeah, that's Toll. Oh no, that's near the Toll McDonald campground for that's near the Toll McDonald campground where we had infosec camp out. Really awesome place where you could go and camp. So this was the RV spot where we had our thing. Oh yeah, D-Dubs knows. Actually, I think that was where my daughter actually did one of the parades in Carnation one time. So that was where the joint was to go there. So, so anyway, back to cloud transformations. If a dev team wants to use a specific resource, or they want to take and move their stuff, or they want to make it highly available across various clouds or whatever, they should be helping with funding some of that. If this is their project, you can't put the onus on IT, not only to secure it, but to purchase it. Sales and marketing in the same way. If they just want to stand up a test environment to, demo the product with a customer, you can't just have them dropping, a couple $1,000s on their sales card and setting up an EC2 instance. You kind of need to know that they're setting up these cloud environments because God knows what they're doing with them. But it's nice that some of these non-IT stakeholders are actually funding some of this stuff. It's just, you need to... I do have infosec camp out start. I knew where the place was, D-Dubs. So, I don't know if y'all are doing that this year or not. You need to let me know so I can transfer the domain and stuff over. But yeah, cloud transformation is increasingly funded by emphasizing its place as a broader enterprise transformation rather than solely an IT endeavor. Exactly. It's going to be a holistic thing. And, if IT is spending $1 million to move something for one team, that's $1 million that IT doesn't have to do something else. So you share the load, kind of like Samwise, share the load, anyway. So if you've got, product X that needs to move over there and that sales and marketing are going to get involved with this, being able to pull from a number of different purses to make this happen will ease everybody's burden. IT definitely should have some skin in the game, but because they're going to have to maintain it ultimately, and you want them maintaining it. You don't want sales to maintain their EC2 instances because they won't, or they'll forget to turn them off, and it's like that EC2 instance is going to be costing you money every month, right? So if you've got several large CPU, GPU enabled systems that ran a demo once 2 months ago, the salesperson is going to have to justify that purchase or that continued expense on their card every month to finance. One day you can tell me how I know that. But yeah, they say, most cloud transformations are stalled in their intermediate stages. Less than a third meet budget and timeline expectations, indicating a significant disconnect between cloud discussions and clear business objectives. Nearly 95% express some regrets over their hyperscaler contract. I don't know about the hyperscaler stuff, but I can definitely see that as a problem. It's like you've got a development team. They're like, they want all this stuff, XYZ, XYZ. And then it's like, oh, well, actually, we need more. Oh, we need more. Or that's too, nobody's ever going to say, oh, that's too much cloud. And so, budget and timeline constraints, I would say you're always going to be able to get cloud resources, depending on the cloud. The problem may be, it's going to be more expensive than they expected because, the cloud is cheap. We didn't have to pay for it before. IT's like, oh, yes, that's going to cost you $10,000 a month. Or, it's going to cost you, X number of dollars. And oh, we don't have that kind of budget. So, okay, well, we can go less. No, we can't. It's got to work this way. So you have to do things like, we're going to have to pare back some of the features that get launched initially until we have time to, start becoming in the black, and then we can start paying for dark mode on our web UI or what have you. I can understand that, not meeting business objectives so much, but not realizing all the requirements needed. And then you've got scope creep that comes back, or you've got, you got a new VP who comes in and wants to look at, what's happening here, and, oh, they don't like that, or, oh, they think they need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Yes, agreed. Sorry, I got hit up with work. We can definitely do that. Sorry. I don't know how many streamers are actually working while they're streaming. It's a really weird thing, isn't it? Would be nice to catch that in the testing as well. Okay. All right. So, but yeah, I think that's how scope creep, causes things like transformations like this to occur. And, some people actually can make the case that doing things on-prem is cheaper because if you not buy a nice fat server, you can do a lot of things with it. It's a bit more flexible, and you don't have to worry about paying a recurring expense except for power. So in some cases, depending on the organization, depending on your setup, you might actually go back to having the server room if you're using things like containers, or having the ability to manage those, manage that environment in such a way. Because it's entirely possible. I have seen news articles now where it's like on-prem's the new cloud or whatever, and I was like, how's that possible? And then you realize that there's a lot of risk that I think we haven't glossed over. I think we've just kind of forgot about it moving to the cloud. When you're on-prem, you can, there's a lot of positives to that, and sometimes those positives actually outweigh moving to the cloud, or you don't take out the cloud completely. You use it in tandem with your on-prem stuff. 25% of enterprises can showcase a solid ROI or return on investment on business benefits from cloud formation. We'll bring it up to them tomorrow during our stand-up. I have stand-ups, y'all. So yeah, I'm actually, yeah, the other thing that got me was this wasn't an advertisement for, learning how to, transform your clouds or whatever. So I just found this an interesting article about, it was a solid news article that wasn't, hey, buy our shit, here's a problem, call us and we'll tell you how to do your shit. So, but yeah, let's find out if there was anything good here. Oh, how to leverage AI for smarter decision making as a leader. Interesting. Now, I have not read this article, so I don't know how much garbage there is in there. In the rapidly evolving world of leadership, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Embracing innovative tools and technologies is no longer optional. It's a strategic imperative. I don't know what kind of bias we've got here. I don't know who Lolly Driscoll is, or Daskell. AI-driven analytics. Let me scroll down and see if they're about to sell me some shit. Yeah, okay. So there's a book, The Leadership Gap, what gets you between you and your greatness. Fostering a culture of AI literacy. That would be great. It's essential to foster a culture of literacy within your organization. Encourage your team to embrace AI as a tool for decision support, not decision making. So, depending on the AI, provide training and resources to enhance their AI skills. I have no problems with providing training and resources. My problem is when people are like, AI is the future, don't question it. We should be using it for all the things. And I'm like, okay, great. That's why we have self-driving cars from Tesla right now. It's not really self-driving. Ethical considerations. While AI offers incredible potential, it also raises ethical considerations. As a leader, it's crucial to set ethical guidelines and ensure that AI-driven decisions align with your organization's values and principles. I like how I don't know who wrote this. Maybe Lolly Daskell actually did write this. Yeah, Lolly Daskell. Okay. I don't know who Lolly Daskell is, so I'm going to kind of use its and thems. They said a bunch of stuff here, but they didn't actually say anything. They wrote a bunch of stuff, but they didn't actually say anything here. It's essential, it's crucial to set ethical guidelines. Okay, so what does that mean? Are you expecting the AI to follow your North Stars, you're going to have to run decisions the AI suggests through legal and PR first, maybe that's the way you set your ethical guidelines. Maybe like Google's don't be evil. Maybe the AI was like, yes, let's be evil. And Google's like, yeah, no. We told it not to be evil. How do you define evil? How do you define ethics in your company? If you're Uber, you're probably not the people who should be setting those ethics. At least not the ones from way back in the day. Yeah, I really need to get Edward Wu on. I really need to get somebody from AI on because I would really like to talk about these kinds of things. Blindly trusting an AI to tell you, the grass is purple and you believing it and continuing moving that direction. Because then not the problem. You're going to become the problem by blindly believing these things. So I just find that interesting. Predicting analytics for strategic planning. AI can predict future trends and outcomes based on historical data. So every AI that I've used, and I've got ChatGPT on here, I think they said now based on they said January 2022. So we're already 2 years behind. So anything that happened in 2023 or 2024, I think you have to understand what the data set is and how recent it is. If your AI is using a 5-year-old, can't tell you what happened in the last 5 years, is that something you want to trust? I would be worried about it, especially anticipating market shifts. Doesn't know about COVID. You know, does it know about what happened last year? Does it know, if you're in a very volatile market, is it actually going to be able to tell you that? Or are you looking more towards traditional, like, cars or something like that, where you're running into those issues? Customer preferences, they do change from time to time. It really depends on the culture of the time, where you live, what parts of the country, etc. It definitely should be an advisory thing, like, oh, the AI suggests this. Well, based on our own data, no, we shouldn't go that route. Or yes, but, or yes, and, that kind of thing. It's almost like one of the role-playing games that I've been looking at for solo role play. It's like there's yes, and, yes, but, and then there's no, and then there's no and, or no but, and no and. And Digital Warrior, I for one am ready to bow down to our AI overlords. Humans have clearly demonstrated we can't manage ourselves or our planet. I'm ready for something smarter than us to take over. So the AI was made by humans that clearly can't manage themselves or their planet. So can the AI do better? That's the only thing that gets me, is like, okay, we want AI to take over, but AI was made by a flawed human or humans, and whoever made the AI is injecting their own flaws into it, which is why we see things like AI bias. I was trying to make a group of people in Microsoft Bing's image creator. I don't want to suggest anything here, but I picked a group of people in mechanical outfits, various body styles. Seems about white, don't it? It's really hard to do things like, I was talking with Lady P offline. Until the AI becomes self-aware and personal human input. Yeah. But I was talking with Lady P because she's got her own custom built system she calls Aurora, and I was telling her about some of the characters I was trying to build for my solo RP to kind of build NPCs for them, I was like, oh, it's so hard to create an anime style character that, because I was trying to use certain words that I probably shouldn't have in hindsight, words like thick, because I was trying to get a more body positive kind of image. And every character has no chin in AI, in anime. No chin. No chin. No, I'm looking for some butt. I'm looking for butt chin here. I'm looking for lantern jawed kind of stuff. And yes, I put thick in there. That's the problem. Thick in anime is not what you think it is. I was thinking of somebody who looked like, I was looking for Hunk from Voltron type, who, isn't rail thin. Okay. He's got some meat on the bones. Okay. Just trying to find some, somebody with meat on the bone. He's very much an outlier, right? Of what the typical anime style is. He's got a lantern jaw. Look at him. He's got a lantern jaw. He looks like he weighs about 250, still very nimble. He can still run around and everything. But, I think I actually used this specific picture, well, minus the box here, but I was like, I think I gave her this specific picture, very similar. I said, I want somebody who looks like this, but not looks like this. And she gave me somebody who looked like Space Reacher, which was kind of funny. Let me see if I can pull it up. You're not allowed to use this, y'all, because I'm not planning on using it. Let's just put it that way. Let me see, where is it? So open her browser. Okay, so she trained her model, and I was freaking blown away because she's like, look at the detail on this when you blow it up to normal size. This is what she gave me. I was like, I'm looking for Space Reacher. I'm looking for a guy that looks like Hunk from. And you can obviously see the similarities here with the the utility belt and what have you, and so I was like, look at the shadowing down here. There's obviously multiple light sources on her version of this, and I was like, this is straight out of like something you'd see from fucking Transformers back in the 80s or something. I mean, this is like, for me, this would be like comic book ready, and I was like, this looks like Space Reacher. He obviously sturdy dude, very sturdy. And he's got got his little butt chin going on here, which is fine. Lantern jawed, definitely not something you would see in an anime. And so, I hate to keep bringing up the anime stuff, but um, there's just it's just really weird. I need a barf character from Spaceballs. No, um, was it? He's half man, half dog. He's his own best friend, I think is what it's called. He's a Mog. I gotta really stop surfing for things. Spaceballs. Of course, he was played by John Candy. Doink, there he is. He's half man, half dog. He's his own best friend, and yeah, that's played by John Candy. It's pretty great. But yeah, so, but yeah, I just, it's cool to use AI as an advisor, but you definitely don't want to, use it as another data point, use it as another advisor, use another data point to decide things, but, trust but verify until we can get to a better place. That's just what it feels like for me. And so I really do need to put the burn on Edward Wu and see about getting him on to talking about this. He, I believe, is the owner of a company that does this, but I don't want somebody who's drank the Kool-Aid. I want a more pragmatic discussion about that. And so I'll probably need y'all's help to, for questions. I'm hoping that just by putting, AI in our stream, we'll get like hundreds of people, hopefully not, waxing poetic about, it's going to be the way, and not like DW. DW I know is pragmatic about some of this, but yeah, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. By the way, if you don't follow Harvard Business Review, their HBR site, yeah, I would definitely think about doing that if you ever want to go into leadership. They have some really good articles. They're not, 3 questions they must ask about their company. That's great. Let's see if they have anything about hiring. That would be interesting. People tend to listen to them. Hiring. 3 myths about hiring people with criminal records. Hey, there you go. Rand's research confirmed a long-established fact of criminology. Crime is a young person's enterprise. As people age, they tend to create connections that crowd out criminal behavior. If a person is convicted and incarcerated, the time they spend in prison can put them out of peak age range for criminal activity by the time they were released. Oh, interesting. Recidivism depends on the type of crime committed. That's the myth. Type of crime is a poor predictor of future risk offending. Exactly, right. EEOC says an employer can use a candidate's criminal history in making employment decisions so long as it doesn't result in discrimination based on a protected class such as race or national origin. Well, for a lot of hacker types, you do 18 to 24 months in the pokey, and then you come out and you're a senior security analyst for some place or what have you. You get that street cred of having spent a little time in the pokey. There's no way to tell whether someone will reoffend. There's research-backed factors employees can look for. Yeah, that's nice. Many employers may not realize the scale of the opportunity to hire people with convictions. 25% of people working in 2018 had at least one adult conviction for a non-traffic offense. Interesting. If a quarter of people who already have jobs have a conviction and businesses continue to operate effectively, how well grounded are hiring managers' fears of people hiring people with convictions? Interesting. So giving people jobs means they would be less likely to commit crime. People who were denied a job after a background check had nearly twice the risk of being arrested in the next year relative to what would have happened if they'd been able to keep their job. Yeah, it's interesting because ideally, if they've committed a crime, the idea is that the company's lost trust in them or they don't have trust in them to begin with. And yet we have examples of companies doing whatever it is they do that causes a loss of trust in the first place by the public at large. So I'm seeing an inverse kind of a hypocritical thing. It's like companies do things that cause us to lose their trust all the time, but then when they hire people or people have a criminal background and they find out about it, they don't have trust in the people that they're hiring. So it's just really weird. And of course, I'm not advocating that everybody should, hire everybody depending on who it is. But if you've, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so they've got some good articles on Harvard Business Review. A lot of how recruiters can make the most of a hiring slowdown. 40 ideas to shake up your hiring process. Yeah, that's great. 6 behavioral nudges to reduce bias in hiring and promotions. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. No, I thought I had a login up for this. Oh. Let's see. In this article, building on decision intelligence and evidence-based solutions that drive scalable change, the author lays out 6 nudges that can help companies develop practices, reduce bias, boost diversity, and create the best possible talent pool. Maybe I can print it. Oh, no, they fixed the print preview thing. Yeah, I know there's 12-foot and stuff like that out there, but some of these sites are actually getting good about blocking 12-foot and others. So, all right. So, let me go double check and make sure I don't have any email. Okay, we're doing good so far. Yes, good. Okay. Well, let's see who's online. I can't spell Twitch correctly, apparently. Twitch. There we go. Hopefully there's no naked people on the front page here. I don't follow any of these people. I don't understand live channels we think you'd like. I'm not a fan of any of those. Hey, no problem, Age of Music. And I hope, if you want to talk offline, I'm cool with that. I'm sorry if it was something you didn't want to talk about, I apologize. I'm just really interested in the psychology both of being hired and hiring. For me, when I hire, this is probably the wrong way to say it, but I need a reason for a no. I need a real reason for a no. For me, it's always yes, because it's like people should be given the chance to prove that they can do what they need to do. And I don't have a problem with saying yes to somebody and then it doesn't work out, I don't believe that people actually get hired to be a detriment or to limit their activity. But, you give somebody a chance, they step up to the plate, they extend themselves, and they realize, hey, they can do the job. Everybody wins. And if you hire somebody and they don't make it, there's nothing wrong with saying, this is not the right job for you. Maybe we can find you something else somewhere else. But I really have you're going to have to find me a no. I mean, you're really going to have to do something to get me to tell no, which is anathema to a lot of hiring practices that may or may not be in my current job. No, it's all good. It's all good. And I just want to make sure that you've got as many opportunities as you can get. Age and my other friend as well. So Tiberius is on a raft somewhere. Let me see who else. Security Weekly. Oh, Security Weekly's online. Let's go raid Security Weekly. You can go. Not that I'm doing it for the likes, but cool. So yeah, hope everyone has a good week. I'll try to be back on Friday. Hopefully the rain has stopped and we'll be back to normal. One last thing, I'm trying to put these on YouTube, so I'm trying to do my cards. Like and subscribe if you'd like. Ding the bell, let people know when you're doing on the VOD for YouTube so that you can get videos when they come out. We do have a Patreon if you want to support it. I can put a link up in the chat when that happens. Join our Discord as well. Yeah, crush that bell. Exactly there, Age of Music. I see it on a lot of videos like the Try channel and stuff where they're like, oh, like and subscribe and, crush that bell and whatever. And I don't have any cool graphics where you're like, that kind of thing. But, it would be helpful, if you can do that. And I'm trying not to do it so it's super annoying or like, morning radio kind of weird stuff. So, go check it out. And, hope to see y'all soon. And yeah, take care. Discord, there we go. Yeah, you can hit the Discord up. And I'll probably post up the Patreon as well. So, all right, take care, y'all. Have a good time and stay safe. Party of two. Break sec, party of two.